Welcome to another marvelous episode of CFB Nation, hosted by me, Lever KT, a.k.a. the governor of college football. And, of course, today we with Nino, the mayor of college football. Nino, how you doing today, player? Hey, nothing is better. It's been a while. Shout out to everyone who's supported us while we were down in Mobile, liking up the videos, liking up the video where we went live. We got a bunch of interviews. I still got a host of interviews to get out, but you know, it's Valentine's Day and coming up, and you know, Nino's married. I'm been in my relationship for a few years now, so. Yes, it does. Long story short. But let's talk about it. So the topics we're going to talk about today, we're going to get into Mario Cristobal. He's in an interesting situation, and we'll really dabble into that in a second. Also going to talk about, perfect fits for the openings that he currently has. Outside hype, we're going to talk about some 2024 quarterbacks who have yet to commit. And there's a couple big quarterbacks that haven't committed yet. Also, we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts. I think here's where Nino and I are going to argue about what alma mater he belongs to, excluding the technicalities, just our personal opinions. And then we want to talk to you all, the nation. It's been a while since we talked to the nation, so let's talk to the nation, man. As I always like to say, man, get your snack, relax, man. CFB Nation, we got you for the next 30, 45 minutes, something like that. We don't know. Me and Nino just do us. So let's talk about Mario Cristobal. So first thing first, on January 27, 2023, Mario Cristobal fires offensive coordinator Josh Gaddis after one season. You guys probably will remember him. He spent some time up in Ann Arbor with the Wolverines from 2019 to 2021. Actually, the Wolverines, under his last year with them as the offensive coordinator, did creep into the top 20 of total offensive productions, but he just didn't yield the same results in Coral Gables as he did in Ann Arbor. And I know people would like to say that, listen, NFL short, it means not for long. That's what everybody likes to say, right? But in the grand scheme of things, college is, I think, maybe a little bit more scarier. If you're at one of these big programs who are spoiled, and they're still spoiled from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and early 2000s, more so the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s with the Hurricanes, they want to win. They're like, hey, you're a Miami guy. We need to win. I even seen people comparing his situation to Scott Frost. I don't think we've hit that button yet, but it's getting crazy. But also, Miami defensive coordinator Kevin Steele left Coral Gables to go to a familiar friend of Tuscaloosa to be Nick Saban defensive coordinator. Both of these decisions couldn't happen at a worse time for Cristobal. The heavy-duty lifting of the coaching carousel is pretty much over. Nino, what should be Cristobal's approach? I love it. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference in numbers. He wasn't throwing 15 touchdowns in 3 games. I'm sorry. I don't foresee that. Okay. So they had to change things up. 86th ranked offense this year. Last year they were top 20. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They had somewhat of an anemic run game, less than 4 yards per carry on the rushing side. Now I know they had my guy there get hurt, Citizen, which please look out for him coming up. And Henry Parrish is there, but Henry Parrish only rushed for 616 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4.7 yards per carry, and he was their lead back. Something's got to change there. Okay, you got to take the pressure off Van Dyke. He's obviously a guy coming back, returning from junior year. They got to do something to protect him. Switch it all up. I don't know who they're going to bring in. The rumors I hear on the offensive side that they're going to bring in, I kind of like it. I'm kind of nervous. I wish I would have knew about it when we were down at the Senior Bowl, because he was the OC and the QB coach at South Alabama, and he's a former Longhorns QB. That's Major Applewhite, is what I'm hearing. They're going to be bringing in. That's the number one guy right now that they're targeting for their OC. So I kind of like that. He had a little bit of a little spice to him when he was with the Longhorns. You know, we'll see what happens there. On the defensive side of the ball, this guy left us one scapegoat to be a scapegoat somewhere else, right? he went from, like, he wasn't like great this year. They had the 68th ranked defense in all of college football. The U had the 60. Like, come on. When you think about the U was supposed to have a dominant defense, right? Big hitters, guys in the secondary, they can pick the ball off and knock the snot out of you. They allowed 142 yards per game rushing, 233 yards per game passing, right? 26.8 points per game. Like, man, that all had to change. It's kind of like it was an omen for him to see his way out on his own time to go to Bama. But then they just keep plucking. They pluck from things that already had, right? They get Lance Guidry in, who had just committed to Tulane. And I'm a little sour about this because we got a little bit Tulane fam, right? You had a guy at home. This is like so many things in Miami that I don't understand. Is Cristobal the guy in charge, or the powers that be in charge, right? Because you had a guy at home, in Charlie Strong, who was the linebackers coach. He's like, you know what? I didn't even get thought of to be the DC. You plucked the guy who just committed to another university a month ago. I'm out. See you later. So now, not only do you got to replace the guys on the offense side, now you can go find a linebackers coach, because I'm out too. He got some stuff to fix. I think he's going in his direction. Obviously, I said it earlier this year, but earlier in the season, that these weren't his guys. So he had to kind of weed out what he got, his recruits, the guys in the portals. Now he's got his guys. I didn't know if Van Dyke was his guy. Obviously, now it's his guy who's returning, and he's building around it. So we'll see what happens. But he brings that spread pro-style up-tempo offense. You better bring some pieces on the outside that can match up. That's the issue here.
Well, we got a couple of things that is going on. First thing first, the scapegoat effect to head coaches in college football, very real. Very real. We seen it down at Clemson with Dabo Swinney. Now, he got a great play caller. I'm not saying he didn't win out of this, but the issue I have is, why did he wait so late to make the decision on the offensive coordinator? Hey, the defense coordinator situation, I kind of understand. I think Mr. Steele seen what was going on. Like, no, I don't want no parts of this. I'm not attaching my name to this. And we see how well things both for coordinators under Nick Saban. Typically, they're there. It's like a sabbatical, a year or two, maybe 3. And then they're on to the next one. That's how I go. So I am starting to worry in Coral Gables, and I don't like hitting the panic button early. That's not my thing. I'm a Phil Jackson type of guy. I'm not going to call a timeout just because my team let the other team go on an 8-0 run. Let them figure it out, because this will boat well later on. But if I am faithful in Coral Gables, I'm starting to look at him funny, like, yo, like, what's really going on? Like, why did he make this decision so late? There were so many primetime people he could have got right there in the hype of the coaching carousel. Now, he has no choice but to get somebody at a smaller school and bring them up. Some of the top-tier guys that were there, they're not there. I just don't understand the timing of it all as far as the offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator was just a straw that broke the camel's back. I heard you mention a couple of guys that you hear Cristobal is looking at. Is there somebody you would have in mind as far as you think it'll be a good fit? They'll probably have the players to be able to run that scheme as well. And what type of scheme would be perfect?
See, right now, you hit it on the head. It's really late. You're going to be trying to steal from another program. And these guys are kind of getting ready to get into, their spring lineups, getting their playbooks ready and locked in. I found it surprising that Major Applewhite was a guy that they were going after. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was really, really surprising. But that's also telling, because he's not a name that anybody was even bringing up.
No, not at all.
And for that to be the number one guy on their board is telling to me on what's available. which is also telling because they stole a DC from another team. I don't say steal, but he committed already to being the DC at Tulane. So you didn't go outside of, you know what I mean? So now you have to go and try to pluck from other programs. You better offer something good to, the bag better be big, the apple better be juicy. But the thing is, the people in Coral Gables, the higher ups, they're itching. They were top 20, but that doesn't sit well with the U. The U hasn't been elite in a long time, and they want in, and they want in now. They thought bringing in Cristobal would 180, and it just kind of
year one was a disaster, but year one it was already accepted, like you said earlier in the opening of this segment. Hey, it's a wash, it's a push. Not your players. Stop bringing your players in.
But he paid. My thing is he paid the bag for the coaches on a 1-year rental. Now to start all over again. That's a bad look. Those are your guys. He wanted these guys.
How do you feel though, as a coordinator? You may be at a smaller school. You're looking like, hey, this is a great opportunity for us. You pick up, you move your family there. Like, how much trust do you have in this guy?
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. They better, like I said, the menu that they serve this gentleman, whoever it is, this gentleman, they serve him at this introductory dinner to say, listen, come to the program. That better be loaded, okay? You better have 3-course meal. You might have the filet. You might have the server. It better be loaded for these gentlemen, because you're gonna have to prime away on a premise that these guys going in knowing that Cristobal could be in a Scott Frost situation, which means that they're in the same situation.
He really could. Like, you're coaching for your life. Granted, Coral Gables isn't hard to sell. You got the weather, right. Taxes. You get tax breaks. As far as being in the state of Florida, but it's something that we're going to monitor here at CFB Nation, and I'm sure something that especially in Coral Gables and the greater Dade County area, they're gonna be monitoring as well. So shout out, we got a sponsor. Shout out our guy Bigfoot's World. You can get all types of things: apparel, footwear, home decor, all type of accessories. Like, you can get like customized earpod cases for your iPhone. But make sure, if you do check out that, use CFB Nation, one word, and you'll get a 5% discount. So shout out to Bigfoot's World. Let's move on to our next segment, Nino. I know this is a segment that you are really excited about. We almost went viral with the last time we talked about quarterbacks. Shout out to Moon for the edits, because it was crazy. But let's talk about some unsigned hype. So we got a group of quarterbacks here who haven't committed. I'm gonna go down the list, tell you what school they play for, kind of what to look out for them, their size. I'll give you some type of quarterbacks.
I got one question before you go down the list, because we're not scripted here. Like the NFL, we're not scripted. We didn't get no script.
Yeah, they didn't send us a script.
They didn't get no script. Is this the 5 gentlemen? You got the same 5 gentlemen that I just threw on the board, or did you go off chalk?
I got 5 gentlemen plus 2 gentlemen I added.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I know you like to throw some hooks at me, so just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, that's too crazy. So we got.
Let's do it.
Rayoli, he's the consensus number 1 quarterback of this class. He's in Pinnacle High School out of Phoenix. He also played some ball in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, before he transferred there. NFL size, 6'3", 225. Pocket passer. The good thing is, and a lot of times you're not getting this in high school kids, he's played under center as well as some shotgun. Threw 32 touchdowns as a sophomore. Jaden Davis, I believe, is a name that I added in, Providence Day High School in North Carolina. Mr. Football and state champ in North Carolina 2022. 6 feet, 190. Completed 72% of his passes. Also threw 43 touchdowns. Elijah Davis from Mater Dei. Everybody knows Mater Dei in Santa Ana, California. 6'2", 180. Michael Van Buren from St. Francis Academy to Baltimore. Shout out to my guy A. Steezy. He actually does the graphics for that academy. So shout out to A. Steezy. I didn't really know much about St. Francis, even though it's a hop, skip, and jump from where I'm at. Not really it's a hop, skip, and a jump. We all across the states here. But I gotta check out more of Michael Van Buren. Also, we got Jake Merklinger. Did I say that right? Cavalry Day.
Merklinger.
Merklinger. from Calvary Day School in Savannah, Georgia, 6'2", 195. Everything I've read on him talks about his accuracy. They say he's the most accurate passer of this class. He's also mobile. Isaac Wilson from Corner Canyon in Draper, Utah. He's 5'11" and 180. You remember back in the day, quarterbacks kind of had to be, 6'2", 6'3", and above.
No, not no more.
Yeah, not anymore. That's
it's
like
like,
the thing of a
Baker.
pass.
Oklahoma kind of broke that script, and that was the end of that.
They did. Shout out to the quarterback whisperer, Lincoln Riley. Michael Hawkins from Frisco and Merson in McKinney, Texas. He's 6'1", 185. Nino, who's like, the guys you're looking at of this group? Who's your personal favorite in this group?
So you made me go out of pocket. I'm gonna run down my guys real quick, but
Okay.
you wanted to throw a curveball. So the first guy, I had it saved. I didn't even put it on the dock. I had it saved on the phone.
Uh-huh.
It's a Massachusetts local. Okay, North Reading, 4-star QB Alex Carucci.
Uh-huh.
He isn't committed to anywhere yet, but he's got offers from Alabama, Boston College, Penn State. So I want to see. Interesting that a young local man, 4-star out of North Reading, getting offers from the big dogs. I want to see where he commits to and what pops up with that. You probably
Are you going to see him play this year?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I absolutely love to. I'm gonna try to make it to at least one game. It's only a 20, probably a 45-minute drive for me, so I'll do that.
You make that every morning anyway.
Yeah. All right.
That's
So
nothing.
my 5 guys I put up. You know my 5 guys. Real quick, I'm just gonna dabble in them. Right, Michael Hawkins. I'm gonna throw some gems out here. I feel inspired when I start doing my notes now because of Moon. Moon's the gem dropper. He likes to throw the gems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
you know he do.
Michael Hawkins' father was a DB in NFL, and he was an Oklahoma Sooner. So he's got that pedigree, that bloodline. 6'2", 195. Played 11 games from McKinney, Texas. He was a 147 out of 263. He had 2,000 yards, 55% completion, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He also rushed for 409 yards, three touchdowns. So that's my bottom guy. You mentioned Isaac Wilson. And you mentioned that, he's from Utah. But did you put the pieces together?
No, I didn't.
That's Zach Wilson's baby brother.
Stop it.
6 foot, 166, 14 games, 3,700 yards, 61% completion, 40 touchdowns. He threw 17 picks. He ran for 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. Baby Zach Wilson.
Wow.
People didn't know about it.
Nah,
I'm dropping gems.
I hope that boat wells for him. You think about the Carr brothers. Derek Carr is definitely the better of the two. But
second guy going in, right?
Right.
The second guy going in was
should
better.
Be a little, Yeah, it should be a little easier.
Now we mentioned my boy. This is my guy. Right? Jake Merklinger. And I say this because out of Savannah, Georgia, 6'2", 195, he's known for his accuracy, right? 66%. 12 games. He only threw 145 passes. Completed 97 of them.
That's
right?
it?
1,987 yards. Ready for this? 32 touchdowns.
Wow.
97 passes completed. 32 touchdowns.
Every 3 passes. Tutty.
Bruh. Okay? 2 picks.
He's not transferring?
He had 300 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. So outside of Zach Wilson, on the list of my 5 guys, he was the most mobile and yet the most accurate. Something to keep an eye out. Elijah Brown, I got 2. Santa Monica, California. 6'2", 180. 13 games. He completed 184 passes, attempted 270, 2,785 yards, 68% completion, 31 touchdowns, 4 picks. He also had 4 rushing touchdowns. I have so many questions about this gentleman, Dylan Raiola. Where you going, bro? You visited so many schools, right? And the last school that we seen him visit was USC. Correct?
I don't know that for certain, but
why?
I'm sure it's accurate. Yeah,
it was a planned visit to you, but why?
It was a planned visit.
It was a planned visit by him. He planned a visit to go see.
He must think he gonna cut. Nah.
Now,
ain't no.
Is it just to get his name tied to Lincoln Riley? I went to see Lincoln Riley, but because I know you went to Pinnacle, and Pinnacle is one of the top high schools in the country for high school football. I understand. I'm aware. But, bro, there's a reason why you've gone from Ohio State to, I forget the second school. Now USC is somewhere you're looking. You're bouncing around a lot. You're bouncing to schools where you ain't playing coming in. Because we ran down a few guys' stats already. 12 games, 178 completions out of 278, 2,400 yards, 64% completion. That's fourth out of the 5 guys ranked. 22 touchdowns. That's fifth out of the 5 guys ranked. 5 interceptions, same as everybody else pretty much. 2 rushing touchdowns. That's the bottom of the pack. And I hate to do this, but I am getting such a Quinn Ewers vibe that it was just all hype, and it's just not there. I know it might come back to bite me. You know me. I love to smoke. Everybody who watches, bring me to smoke. I'll take it good or bad. I will disagree, agree with you. We'll have a conversation. At the end of it, we'll respect each other and walk away. But I don't understand the hype here. I've been watching. I've been diving in. You know me. When I dive in, I get crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not seeing it. I heard someone compare him to a possible Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold blows this man out of the box. They shouldn't even be in the same sentence.
We know how you feel about Jackson Arnold. Not only you, we also know how Boomer feel about Jackson Arnold as well. Shout out to Boomer.
I just want to see where Wilson lands. I think he's obviously got a howitzer, right? 3,700 yards, 40 touchdowns. The accuracy, he got to dial that in. 17 picks, 700 yards rushing. He could be better than his brother. I want to see where Wilson and Merklinger go. I mean, I think for those 2 guys, the sky could be the limit. I think they're flying under the radar. I don't think many people know that, that's Zach Wilson's baby brother.
Nah, that was a gem right here. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So Dylan Raiola is kind of the consensus number 1 of the uncommitted right now. Is he consensus number 1 overall as well?
I thought he was.
I thought he was as well too.
How can you be consensus 1? Nah.
Is he your consensus number 1? Uh-oh.
Man, I gotta. It's early still. I gotta see the senior year. Okay. I guess I would put him. I would put him as the consensus number 1 for me right now. But I gotta see something else.
So, who on this list though do you think will give him a reference? I figured that's where you were going.
Merklinger.
The scouts, the people who've been watching for him they're fanboying over him.
If he stays home, if he stays home in Georgia, watch out.
Wow, you talking about him going to Athens, huh?
6'2", 195, man. He makes sense of Bennett like a midget. and I'm just 145 attempts this year, 97 completions. But the Stetson Bennett didn't have to chuck the rock around crazy, right? Like
no, he didn't.
And it's not a knock to Stetson Bennett. I know everybody thinks I hate Stetson Bennett.
No.
I'm not a fan. We know that. But that wasn't a knock. I'm just saying it's eerily, and this is at a young age. He's only 16, 17 years old. 32 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's mobile to a degree. He got a cannon. He's very.
I just let us see him chuck it more, man. What's up with his coaches, man? Let him throw.
I gotta check. I want to say they must have had a dog at running back. When you see the fact that he still had 32 touchdowns.
It's crazy, yeah. Like I would have thought he played ball in Maryland, 97 completions. What's going on here?
Yeah.
I know he wasn't originally on our list. I added him to the list. Jalen Davis is the guy that I'm watching this year. Mr. North Carolina as a junior. You see it happen sometimes, but a lot of times they like to award that to seniors. But the fact that he was that as a junior, state champion.
His footwork.
Yeah.
His footwork.
You like his footwork?
He's not like Michael Vick mobile. You know what I'm saying? But he's mobile enough in the pocket to avoid the edge rusher. Like I seen a little bit of him. Like I didn't dive into him crazy. I seen like 2 or 3 clips. You go to 24/7. They usually have a little highlight clip.
Yeah, from Huddle. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just shit. He's really, really shifty. You know what I mean? Like in the pocket. I would like to see when he gets to the outside. I don't know what his speed is. I don't know if he runs a 4.5, 4.58 or something like that, but he looks like he could be pretty quick. And in the pocket, he's quick. And his decision making, like, is quick. He doesn't run out. Like he'll be able to just slide over 2 steps quickly and be able to get the pass off. So I want to see him develop that way. I want to see where it goes.
I would agree. I've seen him throw some crazy passes on a run. Some that were so good. In fact, I'm like, that couldn't have been his intended target. Maybe it was. I don't know. But that couldn't have been his intended target. The one thing I will have to give you and I a pat on the back for is that we don't evaluate measurables the same way everybody else does. Like, and I don't know if it's that dog in us. You know what I'm saying? That chip on out. But we just don't evaluate it the way that everybody else does. So does any of these quarterback size scare you? Like, we talked about Jalen Davis. He's 6 feet. He 190. That's pretty solid. But then you got guys like Michael Van Buren, who's 5'11", 185, still kind of solid. Then you got, Isaac Wilson. We talked about that, 5'11", 180. Does any of their size scare you?
I mean, Isaac Wilson's 5. I see 5'11". I see 6 foot. I'll call him. I'll say 5'11", 170. Mm-hmm. He's a junior though. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids could go to bed tonight, wake up tomorrow with a growth spurt, and add 6 pounds.
Right.
So
they 16,
right now,
17 years old.
Yeah. 6 games into the senior year, midway through the senior year, and you're giving me 5'11", 165. I might be a little nervous. You
also,
know what I mean?
The legitimacies are always off. It seems to be probably more in college than even in high school, because you really don't know who's what. Like, that's why every year you hear from the Senior Bowl, this person is shorter than, and same thing with the combine, this person is shorter than they really are. I know it doesn't really affect us, but it was just something to talk about.
So if I'm just going to read something to you, and I want you to just answer what your honest opinion would be. 2,785 yards, 68% completion, 31 touchdowns, 4 picks. 2,400 yards, 2,435 yards, 64% completion, 22 touchdowns, 5 picks. Who are you taking?
A.
That's Elijah Brown.
Yeah.
And Dylan Raiola is the consensus number 1. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot. There's a lot in a year. A year from now, it could totally change. And they both playing good programs, because Elijah Brown's playing Santa Monica, California, and I know Pinnacles, like I said, is a top high school. I just need to see more. I need to see more of Zach Wilson as well. Isaac Wilson, I want cut the picks down, my man. If you can cut them picks down to just 10, and you're throwing 40 touchdowns for almost 4,000 yards and rushing for 700, you're going to open people's eyes. You're going to get a deal from a top school.
I got a feeling he has that gunslinger mentality, which, I like in a lot of quarterbacks. They just got to know when to turn that off, because you can't make a play out of everything. You just can't.
Unfortunately, his brother can't figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
He can't even, and then I don't mean this as it's not a knock to him. A lot of quarterbacks will come into the NFL and can't turn it off, but he also can't turn off the swag.
Right.
And I think that at some point, and in this next segment we're going to get into, some guys drip swag, but they can know when to turn the swag off.
Right.
The next gentleman knew when to turn it off and turn it on.
Absolutely. So I want to take this time to let you guys know we got a lot of content coming over to the CFB Nation platform every Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Correct.
P2P, and shout out this entire broadcast is brought to you by the T2T network. Make sure you guys go over, told us the titles, type that in the search bar. Make sure you go subscribe, go ahead, hit the bell, get them notifications on. CFB Nation is T2T, T2T is CFB Nation, so we're one. So you guys need to know that. Also, a debut show coming Wednesday with our guy Jared Boomer Gray, called Sooner Shakedown. Calling all Oklahoma fans, this guy knows his stuff.
Get ready.
Has experience in the game. I'll let him, say his own credentials, but he's an experienced vet, and he lives in Oklahoma. He breathes Oklahoma football. So to have this guy doing that show on this network is fantabulous. Also, make sure you check out for our CFB revamped content. Moon has been bringing. That is fantastic. We're also going to build a college football fantasy show around Moon as well. D now is going to bring us a show. I'm not going to tell you which team yet, but he's bringing us a show as well. So we got a lot of fire content coming to this platform. So
that's the new logo. Liar.
Liar.
Fire. We get that liar. All right, we get that lot of fire, aka that liar. All right. Hey, and the premiere of P2P on CFB Nation that just happened on Friday was a success. We couldn't have
Crazy.
set it off any other way. With Jake Crane from the Crane Company, we met them down at the Senior Bowl. Man, I'm gonna give him the title of the captain. One-liners. He came out. He was swinging like Muhammad Ali.
He was ready.
I was ready. He was ready. We were ready. It was such a great show.
You can see it from the beginning of the show. You introduce Boma. How you doing? Hey, I stay ready. And it was like Jake said, what? I stay ready too. Like, let's get it. Like, it was, bro, they was ready to go. Fantastic show. You all did an outstanding job, and I'm so happy that this is on this platform. Also, don't forget, check out bigfootsworld.com, 5% discount code. The code is CFB Nation. And also, man, make sure you click on that link on the website. You might see the good guys over there as well. So, let's talk about it, Nino. I don't know what side of the fence that you are on, but I want to talk about it. Jalen Hurts. I want audience participation here as well. Jalen Hurts. I don't want the politically correct answer. I know he's the mayor. I know I'm the governor. We don't want the politically correct answer. We just want the correct answer in your heart, and you can only choose one. What is Jalen Hurts' alma mater? I'm messing words all up today. Alma mater. What is his alma mater? It's Oklahoma for me.
It's Oklahoma for me.
We agree. we agree.
And it's not because of Jared. Okay. He ate humble pie.
He did.
Like I said to you, there were guys who drip swag. This man was just in the Super Bowl, right? He fumbled the ball. They score a touchdown. Amnesia. Right down. He comes back and brings him to score a touchdown on its own. He rushes in. He has it. He knows when to turn it on and when it's off. At the point in his career, when Nick Saban looked at him and said, my man, I can't do nothing for you here. What you need to happen to you, I can't give you. But the gentleman in Oklahoma straight out told him this. The gentleman in Oklahoma can do that for you. You need to go to Oklahoma. And he looked at him and said, all right, I'm out. And he went to Oklahoma. But he sat a year after getting pulled in a national championship game after he missed 7 dudes wide open in a row, right? And he was having a year.
He had a great year.
Tua came in, won them a title. He says, I'm not going to transfer yet. He thought he saw the chance there. He sat a year, right? Didn't get the job back. And then said, nah, I'm going to go take the advice and go do his thing. And what did he do? 3,857 pass yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 picks, 1,200 rush yards, 20 touchdowns, 69% completion. Man, I ain't seen somebody who could just swallow that shit, right? And then ball out like that. And just put it in his back pocket. Keep that chip. When you talk to him about it, he's like, all right, yeah, that's cool. Next question. Let's go. Like, it don't even faze him. He has something to prove. And like I said, he turns the swag on. He turns the swag off. To me, that's a Sooner. No knock to Roll Tide or the Crimson Tide. Sooners, that shit means something different to them. Football in Norman means something different to those people. Jalen Hurts is a Sooner. That's where he goes down. I've never seen a Twitter account tag another college organization in a hype video in my life. Alabama tagged Oklahoma, right? Like,
wow.
Why? Odd to me. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You both can't own a guy. If you told him he couldn't play for your team, you don't have claim to him no more. Right? You said go here because you can't. Your style and our style don't work, my friend. Go here and have success. And he did. So now he's their property. He belongs to OU.
Well said. I don't even have much to add to that. He doesn't make the NFL without Norman. It's that simple. That's simple. I'm not sure. Is there another school you could have named he would have had similar success with? I mean, he even took them. They got embarrassed in the college football playoff, but he even took them to the college football playoff that year.
Yeah, they got embarrassed in that first game.
Yeah. But they ran into.
I don't think he could have went somewhere else and put up those numbers. I mean, that's 5,000 total yards on one man, right? That's 52 touchdowns. Like, I don't know. I really don't know if he could have done that anywhere else. I think it was perfect spot for him.
It was. If you look at the timing of everything, and at this point, I wonder what you have to say about this, but I want to get into this subject. Is he a better pro quarterback right now than Tua?
So I got into many discussions. Shout out my good buddy Shay. He's a podcast content creator for E2G Sports. He's my neighbor down the road here.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, we've gotten into multiple like heated discussions about Jalen Hurts. He kept telling me he was a fantasy football quarterback and not a real life quarterback. I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna go out and say that he proved this year and in the Super Bowl that he's a real NFL quarterback. They are not going to use a first round pick on a quarterback because he's going to get paid, and they already know that he's going to get paid close to $50 million. Like he said that in the end, like at the end of the game, like the GM and the owner said they know he's going to get paid. Like they understand it, and they're going to pay him.
Yeah.
So they don't talk like that for a dude who can't be a QB.
Doesn't have a choice.
Yeah. So to say that he can't throw, man, did you see the throw to AJ Brown? Did you see the rollout throw that he hit Pascal on? Like, I mean, my man was in his bag. Granted, in that third quarter, he kind of faded away a little bit. But, it's first Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. Shake the dust off. Maybe he can make it back again. There's going to be pieces to address in the O-line. It's the line that they have to address. Everything else they have, I think Gainwell locked up the backfield for himself in the last two games of the playoff. I don't think Sanders will return.
I think that's accurate.
But they could draft someone like Gibbs or Bijan,
right?
Because they have the picks, and I mean Pascal's good, but if they could get somebody else that's better in free agency, man, watch out. Like I said, the defensive line is going to need to be revamped because there's a lot of old dogs. They're probably not returning, and if they do return, they're going to want the bag. Like this is the end of the road for them. So I don't know what happens. But Jalen Hurts, man, it's time to put the damn respect on his name. I think he's proven that he's a top tier NFL. I'm not saying top 5. I say top tier. He's above the average.
It's funny.
If you're above average, you're a top tier. I'd put him.
He's tier 1 or tier 2?
2, but he's probably top of tier 2.
Top of tier 2. I like that.
Yeah. I needed to see him develop a little more of the middle intermediate progression game in the past.
I think he would agree with that.
Yeah, he throws it. He's very good at managing out of the backfield passes with the tight end. He's a good sideline. He was better deep ball throw this year. The intermediate decision making, like going through progression, I would like to see that get better. He gets better with that, then he could probably get into that top tier.
I like that. How do you guys feel in the comment section? Is he a Sooner? Any Alabama fans in here? Y'all feel like he rolled Tide? We'll definitely have to come back to this discussion. Let's talk. Let's go to this Nation Speaks. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to talk to you all. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm gonna kind of just going ad lib here, man.
All right, fire away.
Let's talk about Senior Bowl.
Okay.
Because we never really got a chance. We had a show scripted for last week. Dino is a real one, man. I don't like doing this on screen, but he truly is a real one, man. So we were supposed to go live last week. My monitor breaks. I tell Nino like, bruh, I gotta get a new monitor. This man just send me some bread. You know what I'm saying, to go get a new monitor, man. I truly appreciate that, man. I know I thank you off screen. I want to thank you on.
It's family, my man. Come on
screen. I do appreciate that. So we didn't really get a chance to really talk about the Senior Bowl the way we wanted to. What was your favorite moment during the Senior Bowl?
I'll be corny.
Yeah, you can be corny, bro.
Just finally meeting you, Moon and Coach, like just actually in person, like meeting. Like I mean, we've been doing the show for a couple months. I've been doing Totes Titles for about a year now, and not meeting them, but like meeting people in the house, having that personal, experience. Everybody welcoming, my wife and kids, and we're just all chilling in the house and doing our thing. And that for me was the best part of the Senior Bowl. Second was CFB Nation and Totes Titles absolutely dominating on all aspects, all 3 days of practice. I mean, we were so professional. Everybody handled their business. People talked to us knowing that we were being professional. You know, the way they handled it, we got to talk with Jim Nagy at a private setting. You know what I mean? He gave us 5 to 10 minutes of his own time at the end of everything, which we'll be releasing. You know, subtle flex right there. We'll be releasing that interview soon. But I mean, it was just the way we handled it, the way we just made connections, networked, did our business, handled it the right way, and came home. Man, nothing better.
I would have to agree with you there, just being able to physically meet everybody. I already knew you were workaholic, but seeing it in person is a completely different thing. I got in trouble with the old lady.
Dude, I did too.
Me and you literally just zoned out
we had to.
Right, we did. Got straight to it. So it was cool. It's like my first time meeting Moon too. That's my business partner. He's been my business partner for 3 years, and I hadn't met him in person yet. Hopefully we get to some spring. Not hopefully, we will get to some spring games before that. Also be going to the Fantasy Expo in Canton over the summer too. So we definitely going to link up.
You ready?
There.
You want to ad lib? I'm gonna ad lib real quick. I'm gonna take a page out of Moon's book. Rapid fire. Best wide receiver, Senior Bowl.
Jaden Reed, bro. I'm sticking with my guy.
2 words describe Jaden Reed.
Swift, Army, knife. I took 3.
That's fine. That's fine. Best running back from the Senior Bowl, not named Tajay Spears.
Evan Hall.
1 word. Describe him.
I got 2, man. My bad. Aquafina.
my man. And I don't mean this as a knock to anybody. Biggest disappointment from the Senior Bowl. Someone that you were hyped to see didn't live up to the hype for you.
Chase Brown.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was surprised because he came around the last day, and I thought that he would have maybe.
No, there are people saying that he had a great camp, had a great camp.
I don't know what they were watching.
Didn't really have a great game, but coming into this, there was 2 things that you and I thought. The first thing I thought was that he needed to come in and do what Tajay Spears did, because Tajay Spears is kind of like and I'm glad you asked the rapid fire the way that you asked it, because his stock has went up so high. It's almost cliche to mention his name.
Right.
But 2, you had a great statement. He needed to separate himself from Evan Hall. So looking at the Senior Bowl game that Evan Hall had, the week he had, other than pass protection, I thought Chase Brown had an opportunity there. He didn't have it. I think he's still gonna be a great back with whoever gets him. But I think his stock probably went down a little bit. What about for you though? I want to hear that same question to you.
I'm gonna go with my biggest surprise of the weekend was John Michael Schmitz. When I got the text from Jared, said, "Oh boy, is just dominating the line." I told you, I said, "I gotta go look here. This was the first day. I gotta go. I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna peep the." He was 100% right. I mean, that guy didn't take a step back unless it was the first snap of the ball just to plant. He was just dominant the whole weekend. He looked like the wall from the Game of Thrones. He was just literally dominant. Nobody got by him. So that was surprising to me. I won't piggyback off you. You know how I feel about Evan Hall. But my biggest surprise running back was Sir Roderick Thomas.
I knew you were going there.
Bro, he came in hungry. When we did the interview with him, I said that it was like the bat signal popped off. He saw it and came ready to prepare, and he loved it. He's like, "Yo, that's perfect," because he was just waiting for the call. Right? He was in Denver. He got the call from Denver, flew out, boom, came in. I saw Padro. I was like, "Yo, man, my man's feet fast for a big guy like that. Like he moving." And everything we seen out of him, he just looked ready. I think that if GMs, coaches, running back coaches didn't really know anything about him going into the Senior Bowl, he definitely rose his stock a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
We all know how I feel about Tank Dell, wide receiver. So I don't think I should reiterate anything.
He's a beast.
He is a beast. There's another gentleman I think it's going to rise.
Who?
And he said it's going to rise when he runs his 40. Because my
yeah.
man said he's running 4.2.
Oh, yeah.
Flat. That's Trey Palmer out of Nebraska. My boy just stays underneath the ball. You can throw the ball anywhere on the field. He can go get it.
I think out of all of the wide receivers, he had the most separation on his.
Bro, there was 3 routes in a row. He was, let me see if I can reproduce this. He was cooking. All right, he burnt through 3 straight plays, but due to bad quarterback play, they couldn't even get him the rock. All right, There was one play. J.L. Skinner's my dude, coach's guy. He straight shook Skinner on one move to the inside, and he was wide open. One Skin, overthrown. So him and Dell both got overthrown a lot. Had they got connected on, you probably wouldn't be able to get the names out of your mouth. But when you can't finish, whether it's your fault or someone else's fault, you just don't get your names in the headlines. So it is what it is. But those gentlemen, they got the juice.
I got to name Moons. He said biggest disappointment was Max Duncan. I think that's a good one there. And then he said
Jaron Hall would be more disappointment for me on the quarterback side.
Really?
I expected more out of Jaron Hall. I really did. I felt like he was just going through the motions.
He was. That's why I wasn't surprised when he wasn't there on Saturday for the game. And then he said biggest surprise,
Right.
R.B. Miller Jr., and I think he certainly helped his stock.
Oh, yes, 100%. Jackson State linebacker, absolutely. For me, on the secondary side, Jamie Robinson, bro.
Yes.
He's my new Jalen Petrie. I love Jalen Petrie. Everybody knows that he's my dude. Him and Briscoe. I'm a safeties guy, DB guy. Bro, Jamie Robinson, he built like a brick shit house. He's hard. He brings on the comp. He wants. I seen this dude call out Rashid Rice 3 straight plays. Like, nah, dude, me and you.
That was
Right
a
here.
guy I was indifferent about now that you mentioned him. Rashid Rice, I think you and I both expected him
coasting.
to come out
was
there
coasting.
and dominate. But like you said, he didn't have to. You know, his stock
Right.
was already rising, but, you know, just somebody I like to see. Make sure you guys check out On the Clock. Like I said earlier, go check out Told Us the Title. We'll give you some time. Go hit the bell. Go subscribe. On the Clock Thursday, we're doing Deep Sleepers. And I was about to mention one. I was like, nope. I'm holding this for the Deep Sleeper episode.
I got Coach got me on an episode after this at 9:30. We're doing some wide receivers on DWZ fantasy site. So I've been diving into deep ones. So he's slick though. When we do docs together, me and Coach, if I don't go on the doc first, he's gonna steal my.
He gonna get you. He gonna get you.
He's gonna
Yeah.
get me.
Yeah, I need to
go
jump
dig
on that
it.
OTC doc ASAP now.
Yeah.
Any final words, man? I gotta run.
It was a blast, and I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate you. I know you got to go do something with the old lady. So
yeah. This is fun. Me and Nino love what we doing. Moon asked us one question. We'll answer this before I get out of here. He said, if you had to vote for the biggest moment, he said Blue Kelly interception, 3 interceptions. He said Tank Dell day 1 or Jaden Reed day 3. What would be your biggest? That's a great question.
Tajay Spears day 2 when he made the cut to the outside, and the whole place went, wow.
When they had to do the
They
push-ups?
took it to the crib. And they made him do the push-ups.
Yes. I like that one.
I'm partial. But on Moon's list, it would be Tank Dell.
It would be Tank
He broke
Dell for me,
ankles.
too.
He broke so many ankles. The whole place was moving and wilding the whole time.
The saddest thing is, I think the one thing that hurts me about not watching fantasy is, I'm sorry, about not doing fantasy is a lot of times I miss a lot of the, you know, if Tennessee and another SEC team is playing, I'm gonna watch that game, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, but this guy Nino's been telling, and that's why Nino is I said it to him, the most important piece to the puzzle, because like, you know, we got a lot of big things going on behind the scenes too. We can't discuss them now. Like I've shared some things with y'all in the past, and we literally cannot discuss this right now.
A little bit.
But Tank Dell, Nino's been screaming Tank Dell. You can go back and watch the episodes. He's been screaming Tank Dell for a brick. I'm like, man, who is this Tank Dell guy he keeps talking about? Oh, I learned. I seen who he was.
I'm gonna learn today.
Let me get to this closing, man, before I get hurt out here. As I always like to say, do something nice to somebody you normally wouldn't do. Always pay it forward. Peace and love, peace and blessings, and until next time, one. Wait. They thought it was over?
Nah.
Man, y'all go follow T2T. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit this bell, because we going live. We releasing content damn near every day. The videos will probably be right here with Nino at, right there, everywhere, man. Like up the content.